Ha! Internet! I couldn't get it. Oh, I couldn't get it good today. Oh, I couldn't get it good today, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I tried to get it good. What's up, everybody? It's Friday. How you doing? How you doing? How you feeling? How you flowing? How you going? 'Cause it's Friday in the Friday world, which means it's just another work day for me. I gotta hold on a second, guys. I gotta move this thing. I don't know what's going on. Had to move that monitor there a little bit from Cute Nick's. That's the Cute Nick's monitor that's over this way. When I look over that direction, that's the Cute Nick's monitor. He hooked it up big time, you guys. Did we forget? Did we forget that Cute Nick's hooked it up? I didn't forget that Cute Nick's hooked it up. Every time I look at this monitor, I think, oh man, quite the generous subscriber. Utterly generous subscriber. Thank you very much, my man. Very much appreciate it still to this day. Huge gracias, mi amigo. Muchas gracias, mi amigo. Oh, here comes in Mr. Chips. He's coming in for the show. He's getting comfortable back there in his bed. All right. Well, happy Friday, everyone. Let's say what's up to the chat real quick. First one to the chat today, I gotta say, Turtle Girl, right quick on the draw, coming in first, quickly followed by Frank Dominguez and Rocky's Rocky. You know, not to downplay Bald and Dangerous, my man Dougie from UK. And Daryl Dimer. Daryl Dimer's got a new avatar pic. Ooh, he's got a little dog with looks like a little dog with a birthday hat on. I love it. That's great. Charlie's List is here. Good to see you. Dan Squires Candy Overholes. Chicken Lips too. Yeah, what's up, man? Good to see you. Bentley Pascal is here. Good to see you on a Friday, Bentley. Oh, let's hang out soon. We should hang out soon, guys, because my birthday's coming up. First, we got to do Easter. We got to do the Easter Sunday, and then a couple more weeks. And then 2 weeks, my birthday barbecue. And if you think I'm not getting ready for my birthday barbecue, you are sorely mistaken, you guys. I'm getting my briskets ready, you know what I'm saying? How many briskets, you say? I bought 4 full-size briskets, so I have about 80 pounds or something of brisket to do for the birthday barbecue, which I think will be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it. Hope it's sunny out like it is today. It's a beautiful day out here in my neighborhood. 'Tis a beautiful day in my neighborhood. Speaking of that, Mr. Rogers, apparently, I heard a rumor that Tom Hanks is doing a reboot of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, or like a movie, or I don't know, maybe a Netflix thing. I don't even know what it's for, but I heard that's happening, and that sounds cool. I'm kind of excited for that. It would probably be good, you know, considering Tom Hanks is a wizard. I'm sure it'll probably be pretty good, right? Sarah Konopko is here. Good to see you. Eric Gone Mad and Iris are here also. 54 Punchy. Noah G. Good to see you. Magic 21 Mom. And I'm just kind of going through here, try to say hi to a bunch of people. I'm not going to get to everybody. But Leonie Ballantyne, good to see you. Soapbox Debris, Mr. Phil Emerson himself is here. Oh, look at Phil Emerson saying hi to everybody. It's going to be a little bit of a crazy show here today. We're going to do some saltwater stuff, so I hope you guys got your salty pants on. And you guys are ready to do some saltwater chit-chat. We're also going to answer some of your freshwater questions from the Patreon community, from the Patreon community page, which is important. We haven't hit the like button yet. We're going to do a like spike, you guys. So if everybody is getting ready to hit the like button, don't hit it yet. We're going to hit it all at the same time. Why not? Who knows? Does it do anything? I don't know. But I think it's kind of fun to do because we get to count down from 5. We get to count down from 5, which is super exciting as far as I'm concerned. And, you know, counting down from 5 is pretty wild. Right? So, yeah. BC Fish Room says, putting down the primo modding. What's going on? What's happening? Something happened? Either way, it doesn't look like anything's, like, deleted out of the chat or anything. So, it must be everybody being good today on a Friday. We like that. But we're getting ready to hit the like button. So, I'm going to do it now because I want to get it out of the way because we can talk about all the other fun stuff. We can talk about all the other fun stuff, and then we'll be able to move on to that, the fun stuff. But the like spike in 5, a 4, a 3, a 2, a 1. Hit the like button, and then we're good, right? Good to see Wushu. Jimmy Brown is here. James Floyd is here, saying, "Hold on, need to get my crusty, salty socks on." I like it. Good times. Zwellers is here saying, is it ever not raining in the UK? I don't know. I think it's always raining in the UK, or at least threatening. Or at least it's threatening to rain. Same old guys asking, no more real fish talk? RFT, no more real fish talk? Of course there's more real fish talk. Real fish talk is on Tuesdays, my man. Tuesdays. That is when Corey and I sit down for a couple hours and answer y'all's questions. We'll be back on Tuesday. We'll be back on Tuesday, whatever that day is. What is that? The 3rd of April. The 3rd is when we'll be back doing some real fish talk with Corey. This here on my channel is my show I've been doing for a long time. I don't even know what this show is called. It doesn't even really have a name. I think it's the live stream. I don't know. It's just a live stream, live show, the show. Just weirdness. Generally start out with a topic, start talking about certain things, and generally spend a little time saying hi to the people and see what's pressing issues. On Fridays, I answer the Patreon questions, so we get a accumulation of Patreon questions throughout the week, and we all answer them here to do, you know, just to answer them here, and then maybe if there's some of the community support to kick in. And then, you know, if the community's like, oh, hey, I had that happen with my fish once, and I was doing this, right? So all that stuff is pretty darn important, right? And we like to do it as a group, so I think it's pretty good to get a chance to answer some of the Patreon questions. If you don't know what the Patreon is, you head over there to the Patreon, you check it out, see what's going on, and then you're able to, you know, see what it's all about. It's basically a monthly way to kick in and support making videos for you guys, making shows for you guys, and doing this live show, for instance. That's kind of the main thing behind it, is that it just does occupy a lot of my time making all the video and stuff. And there is a video segment that is there's a video segment that is in this show, which normally pops up somewhere about an hour in, and we talk about the video that's playing in the background. We do have a super chat here to address from Alvin Alejo. The $2 super chat saying, just spent $150 on salt, fish, shrimp, and corals. That's crazy. That's but pretty typical of coral stuff. And I do have some news today that I do want to talk about my reef tank, which does apply to the video segment today, because we went on this road trip and stuff and got me doing some brains thinkings. And I do have some things, some slight things to not necessarily announce, but just to kind of mention and get them working through your head. You guys, the community, just kind of think about them, maybe hash them out, maybe freak out, maybe don't freak out. I don't know, but we're going to do that and talk about some of that stuff. All right, we got ourselves a giant super chat here to deal with, which means we got to wrestle it to the ground like we were one of those Greco-Roman bear wrestlers or whatever. We gotta wrestle this giant super chat here. We gotta address it a little bit, right? Because we got a $155 super chat from Mr. Gone Mad himself. Some people are saying that he's actually gone mad. With the question, could you make your art into a decal of sorts to apply to the back of our tanks? Something like our painting would be so sweet. I have experimented with this, trying to put together some tank backgrounds and things along those lines, and nothing that I could really come up with was really what I would consider sufficient. It wasn't necessarily sufficient per se, just in like a pragmatic sense. Basically, the stuff that I made just wasn't that great, and I was like, man, this sucks. I don't like this at all. So back to the drawing board, and then would continue to go back to the drawing board. I do have a few things in the works as a possibility to maybe 3D print some stuff. Mr. Weberman and myself have been we've been chatting about it and stuff, because he does a lot of 3D printing. He definitely did some he test fired some stuff. And we'll see how it goes. And also, like, I'm not really sure what the production cost is on that kind of stuff. So I am happy to continue to experiment with some of those ideas, and we'll see how they go. I'm not like putting in a ton of effort into it. So maybe I need to kind of double down a little bit. I did, as you guys know, I got some new T-shirt designs out to you guys. I got new stickers out to you guys. We got a bunch of new stuff going on. Actually, got a bunch of videos out this week and last week, and just a lot of stuff going on, which ultimately I think is pretty darn good. I can't no complaints as to the workload right now, even though it is feeling a little bit massive. But yeah, the background thing, I would love to get something that would actually work, but like I said, most of the stuff that I've tried was just kind of like, you know what I mean? Where it's like, yeah, it's kind of cool. Bah. Wow. So, I don't know. Haven't come up with anything mind-blowing yet, but I do have, let's see, I have some communication right now with some possible background stuff that I might be doing, but that would just look like rocks and stuff, so it wouldn't really be art per se. So, I don't know. And I got some new paintings coming up in the works and stuff. I just got that old one I just stuck up there going the wrong direction just because I do what I want. I can make my painting go up and down, north and south, instead of east and west, right? We've got a $1.99 super chat here from Toast707 saying, planting tank with a couple of cold brews. Happy Friday. Oh, right on. So you must be having some of that cold kombucha, right? So you got some of that brewed kombucha, probably, I'm guessing, Yeah, I think most people know around here I'm sober, so I don't do the cold brews on Friday ever, So, but appreciate it. Got my coffee here, so, same kind of deal, right? Some people like the cold brewed coffee. Some like the cold brewed kombucha. Some people like that Leroy, that Leroy, that La Croix, right? They like that stuff. Guys, I forgot to plug my phone in, and it's beeping in my pocket. Oh! Sometimes you got to lean back. Try to get your phone out of your pocket. There we go. Sorry, I had to plug that thing in because it was going bzz, bzz. I'm going to die. All right. So, yeah. But congrats making it to your Friday. I've got lots more work to do over the weekend and tonight. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to sleep again. It's been pushed. It's been pushed, but not a big deal. And not the worst thing. Magic 21 Moms. Oh, man, I almost forgot to tell. Just got my first ever bamboo fan shrimp yesterday. So cool from Rob over at Flip Aquatics. Yeah, if you guys are looking for shrimp and stuff like that, Flip Aquatics is a great place to stop in. Although I would say the downside is almost every time I want to buy shrimp from there, it's like 3 weeks left in quarantine before I can, like, get them. So it sounds like he's doing a good job because they're getting a ton of orders and stuff like that, and they're trying to quarantine long enough to be able to send them off to you guys. So that's not a bad thing. But to me, I don't know. It bugs me every time I go there, and I'm like, yeah, cool, I want to order these 5. And they're like, yeah, they'll be out of quarantine at the end of April. I'm like, what the why are these even on here? That's the only problem I ever have with Rob is trying to order off of his website. But otherwise, great dude, great company. They're doing a great job out there, and glad to hear that you got bamboo shrimp, man. I love those bamboo shrimp. They are a ton of fun. And I do have to admit, I'm getting this empty spot. I'm getting this empty spot right here in my chest where my heart should be, because I haven't had any kind of real intricate shrimp, I guess. What's the word I'm looking for here? I guess difficult shrimp, I think with most people. I don't have any King Kongs. I don't have any crystals. I don't have any Galaxy Pintos. I don't have anything like that. All I've got is the massive quantity of cherries right now, and I like them. Oh, I love the cherry shrimps, but I need something to challenge me. And they're not exactly doing that right now because they're pretty much just like, oh, hey, you guys breeding like crazy? Cool. Yeah, all right. Let me check in with you later. And what's up with that guppy? Not breeding? Cool. Not giving birth? Yeah, thanks, guppy. Cool. Yeah, gonna have to go do something else now. Though I am getting I noticed a tiny little spots of BBA today in the shrimp tank, which means, haha, something for me to do in there, which means go in there and mess around a little bit. I do have to move some plants and stuff. It is kind of growing in, getting a little overgrown. I have to trim some stuff, and so that's I guess that's what's going on with my shrimp situation. Just a million cherry shrimps everywhere. But they are really good coloring, and they look great, and they're super healthy, so it's going pretty well. Not a problem. I just need some challenging shrimp, which actually is going to come into part of what we're going to talk about today. It's part of what we're going to talk about today, and I don't know what people's reception of this would be, because I know there's a ton of people out there that are going to be like, oh, man, but I don't know. I'm going to answer these super chats before we get going on anything else, though, along those lines. I said it. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say along those lines. I try not to. The Zombie Drummer with a $44.45 super chat. It's very specific. Saying, let's round that out to 200, kids. Happy Friday. Good to be here with y'all. Oh, well, thank you very much. That's buck wild, man. We're already up to... Our super chats are already off the charts here, thanks to Gone Mad and Zombie Drummer and everybody. Let's see, Toast 707 and Alvin Alejo. Thanks, guys. It's going a little. What is that weird noise? Hello? I don't know, some kind of weird noise. I don't know what that was. Okay, the dogs aren't alarmed, so I'm gonna assume I'm not being attacked. I'm gonna assume I'm not being attacked by anybody. Kind of funny, Mile High Plecos showing up saying, making it rain. I've never seen that before. Mile High Plecos makes it rain in Steamfot's chat all the time, which is awesome. I appreciate it, and I'm sure Bob does too, man. I love Bob, and hopefully I'll see him soon. It's been quite a while since I've seen him, but I've definitely seen Mile High throwing down in Bob's chat. So I know you've seen it before, but it's normally just coming from you, right? So let's see here. Hopefully, the Zombie Drummer, thank you very much for rounding it out to 200. Happy Friday, and I'm happy to have you here. It's great to see you again. I think there's like a gnat flying around over here. What is that? Fruit fly? I don't know. Let's see here. Mr. Runyon is here. We just find ways to party in the D. Old Mateo. I got it. I get it. Candy Overhauls posted the affiliate link to order from the co-op. If you guys are interested in ordering from my homie Corey at the Aquarium Co-op, there is a little bit of an issue right now because you can't order lights. Well, you can order other lights from there, but you can't order the Fluval 3.0 until Saturday night at midnight. Basically, Fluval had this giant convention, right? And they didn't want the lights being sold to overshadow the convention thing or something like that. I forget. But they were basically just saying, hey, stop selling them in the United States for a couple of days. And Corey was like, oh, okay, cool, we'll do that. But yeah, if you're going to order from the co-op, it's much appreciated if you guys go through the link. I appreciate you guys going there. Corey's my homie, and we hang out and goof around. If you guys follow the Aquarium Co-op, you'll see there was a picture of me yesterday cutting up some acrylic up there at the co-op. We're fabricating a sump. We're fabricating a sump for a deal, and I think he's got a, I think he put out a, like a vlog style video or something about it today. I'm not 100% certain. I've been running around like one of my chickens all day today, trying to get everything together. And but yeah, if you are going to order from those guys, definitely go through the link and definitely order from them. Man, I love those guys. I love everybody up there. I got to go to the coop yesterday because, as some of you may or may not know, Denise Lytle sent to me, care of the coop, sent me, I guess you call it fan mail, fan mail, right? Sent Vicky and I a bunch of heirloom family seeds, which is so awesome. So we were able to go pick those up yesterday. And so, you know, Allie and Robert and Eric and all those guys were all up there and actually got to do a, well, one of the things that we were doing there is that Corey was meeting some fans from Idaho that had rolled in. So it was super cool to like see some fans had like come all the way out to hang out in Seattle and Western Washington and swung in to hang out at the coop and stuff. So it was super cool. We got to go down there and, you know, of course I just hung out in the back so that, you know, because I was like, they didn't come to see me. So I just hung around in the back and looked at all the cool fish. And I have to say, I was looking at some Synodontis petricola and piquing my interest again. Beautiful little fish. Beautiful little fish and certainly piquing my interest for sure. Candy is saying this question should be on at BC Fish Room Super Chat. Hey Joel, same issue in my CRS crystal red shrimp tank. Sorry, I had a brain fart there. Can you be specific about how you are going to address the spots of BBA in the shrimp tank? Okay, yeah, actually, and yeah, okay, so BC Fish Room, aka Nick, sending in the $2 super chat asking a question about a crystal red shrimp and some BBA. Yeah, so the easiest way I'm going to address these couple little spots of BBA, I'm going to have to test my water and see what's going on because all the plants are showing really good signs of growth, which means I probably just have an overdose of something. I was looking at my whiteboard earlier, and it's been 2 weeks since my water change, which it either means I've either overdosed, like either I have a high level of something, or I'm just past due on a water change and need to catch up on my fertilizers in there. So it's one of those things. With just a couple of spots of BBA and stuff like that, I'll normally just knock it off with that pink toothbrush. You know, the pink toothbrush that I rock. You know, I'll just knock it off with the pink toothbrush and then not worry about it too much, because you know, algae is opportunistic, and if I just kind of take its opportunity of feeding away, it'll go away. I can do a quick manual removal, although BBA is actually really easy to get rid of with Flourish Excel, which is Seachem's carbon dosing. It's got a whole bunch of glutathione in it. I have an older video that actually highlights what I was doing with that, but it's essentially a triple dose daily for like 6 days or something like that. It's basically a week. Okay. Eric Gone Mad with a $5 super chat saying, I meant on the outside like a car wrap or window film. Oh, okay. That might be more doable. That might be more doable because we could probably print it. Yeah, I can look into that. I can look into that for sure because we could probably get it printed as like some kind of window decal or something like that. So yeah, let me look into that and see if I can't make something along those lines. You know, I'll have to figure out where to go to do that, but it could probably be a basic. It might be like a basic Google search or something. Yeah, so let me look into that and let me see if I can't do like a reversed window decal or something like that, and then be able to, you know, then people would be able to like slap it on there and then take it off. That might be cool. Yeah, so let me figure that out. All right. Yeah, I'll definitely look into that, Eric. I'll see what I can do. See if I can't sort that out and figure out what the deal is, and if I can't get to the bottom of it. Okay. So, okay. Jan and Keller said last real fish talk, he took the plugs down. Dang Fluval, no free 3.0 plug. Yes, that was me. I took the free plugs down off the back. But I love those. Those lights are fantastic. The 2.0 is awesome. That's what I use in my room, in my whole fish room. I've been trying out one of the 3.0s, basically one of the new ones. I have to say they are pretty cool too, and definitely going to figure out some stuff with those. And you know, there's been some upside, there's been some downside, but I'm definitely going to keep messing with the 3.0s. Now, one of the crazy things about those is that you can change the light spectrum and stuff through the app. So I've been kind of messing with that to try and figure out what the really good balance is for those lights, as to what you really want to pump out of them, and see what you can get out of them. Oh, let me see here. I'm gonna catch up with the chat here. I'm trying to read everybody's comments. I think I got through all of the super chats, right? I think so. There was something I was going to talk about, but I can't remember. Catfish Cave says, it's partly your fault, Joel. I just bought 4 tanks today, 2 40 breeders, and a 20 long and a 10, and no room. Minor details. To the Fishmobile. I like it. I guess, yeah, I'm sure it's partly my fault, but I'm sure there's probably going to be more chaos and nonsense coming up that will probably inspire people to probably go buy some more tanks and stuff like that. Savannah the Aqua Llama just showed up. Says she was at Ready Player One. Do not spoil it for me because I am going tomorrow. I'm going to Ready Player One tomorrow. I I remember reading the book like quite a while ago. When did that book come out? Let me see here. Here, one book. All right. I hate this keyboard. I have to like look down at it because all of the. So let's see. When did the? Okay, so the book came out in 2011, I think. Yeah, 2011. Yeah, so the book came out in like 2011, and back in 2011, I was still a hot mess, so I think I skimmed through it. I don't think I really read it all that well, but I remember it was pretty cool. Looks like the movie is going to be fantastic. One of our good friends, Stacy, is a huge fan, so we're actually going to Ready Player One tomorrow with her. She is pretty much our movie partner. She's our movie homie. You know, Vicky and I, all three of us, we go to see all of the good movies together, or all of the new, I guess, well, I mean, okay, we have, not every movie we've seen was good, but all the big movies that come out, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, Aquaman came out and was like, we got to go see that. Or like the Avengers, like, oh, yeah, total nerd out stuff. And so looks like Ready Player One's total nerd out, and we're going to go see that tomorrow, which is going to be fun. And going to be pretty cool. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. We got people in here chatting about just kind of regular stuff. Savannah says, just to say, it was epic. Okay. That's cool. Got my buddy messaging me during the show. Cool. All right, so let's see what's going on here. I think we're caught up. So about a half an hour in, time to get to... Oh, I got to make sure I open the right scene here. Come on, man, I'm hovering over the button. Give me the preview. We're going to go... I guess we're just going to go hot and loose and make sure we're on the right one. Oh, man, we're on the right scene. It worked. Yeah. All right, so we're on to the Patreon questions. Patreon! Hi, Chips. Mr. Duty. Oh, no, you're a good boy. You stay there. We're on to the Patreon question. I just was yelling and scared Mr. Chips. Had to tell him not to worry. I love you, Mr. Chips. Don't worry. You're a good dog. Okay, so we're on to the Patreon questions. Those of you that are super confused as to what the Patreon is, like what's the deal? Where are these questions coming from? What's happening? I can answer that question fairly easily by saying it's the fan funding site, basically. This is the fan funding site. It has a community tab in it where we can post stuff. Like where you guys can post stuff, questions, pictures. Here's a perfect example right here. Mr. Rumbust himself. I haven't seen him today. I don't know where Rumbust is. He's probably having a crazy Friday night out there in Sweden, I'm guessing. Here's a perfect example of a post. This one doesn't even really have a question, but it's a good one to start on because it doesn't have a question, right? But it's a good example of what could be posted up into the Patreon. The Patreon is a once a month. It's a once a month kick it in kind of situation. That's what it's for. You make a little account. You can go monthly donate to the productions of shows and stuff like that. And I have to admit, the other day I was daydreaming about the Patreon getting to a point where I can start doing charity projects and stuff. That's my long-term goal here, you guys. That's my long-term goal. Start doing some charity projects, traveling around. I might be able to go to Canada now. I might be able to. We'll see. It's looking good. It's looking good like they're going to let me into Canada at some point in time. So, whether it's the States or whatnot. I got my passport now, so I can even go international. I had to get my new passport, which it came the other day, and I look like... In the picture, I look like I got arrested, so still a little crazy. Trying to open up, trying to open up the calendar a little bit more for doing more charity type stuff, going places, meeting people, doing those kinds of things. I was kind of daydreaming about that the other day, and I think slowly but surely we're going to get to that point. And I'm excited. And I'm excited because I got some top secret plans, man. I can't tell you guys about yet. I got some top secret plans that are going to be super fun. And I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Yesterday was just a little taste of being able to go see, like, oh, hey, there's some of the fish fam I don't know. Oh. I actually did run into some people that knew who I was, which was kind of cool. But that I was kind of daydreaming about that the other day, and I figured, like, oh, man, I wanted to mention that. I wanted to mention that during the show and just be like, yeah, I mean, that's the whole reason for the Patreon. I know that it's gotten to a point where it has reached a point where it's sort of plateaued, you know. It's sort of plateaued because we kind of run into that point where it's like, I think a lot of people click on it and they go like, oh, man, well, he's got a lot of Patreons and this and that. So, yeah, whatever. But I do appreciate it, and there are long-term plans for, like, what to do if it ever does get to a point where I'm going to be able to, like, rock and roll and, like, physically go out and help people, which is looking to be on the horizon, which I'm excited for. So, but I can give you guys a hint because you guys already know that Kobe and I, we're going to be going to the Live Bearer Convention, which is May 4. Hold on, let me look. I got to open up my calendar over here, guys. I don't want to say the wrong day because it's goofy. It's May 4th, 5th, and 6th, the Friday, Saturday, Sunday in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Now, we're going to actually road trip out there. We're going to road trip. We're going to road dog it. We're going to be road dogging. We're going to be driving all night, my hands sweat on the wheel. Right? We're going to be doing that action. Probably swing by North Dakota and take a nap, that kind of stuff. And so we're going to be road dogging across the country, and it may or may not coincide with that period of time, right? 4th, 5th, and 6th, Grand Rapids, Michigan. So we're actually going to be out there. We're going to meet some people. I got some messages about it over this week that some people were super zazzed, and they were wondering about if there's going to be a meet and greet. For sure. There probably will be. What's the word I'm looking for? Well, there will be a meet and greet. There will probably be a dinner. I know Corey is doing 2 presentations. We might even have a table where I might post up at a table and just like space out and look up, and I'll be sitting behind it, and people will come up and they'll be like, "Hey man, who are you?" And I'll be like, "I don't know. Who am I? Who am I?" Right? We might even do that. I don't know. But, considering that convention plus the aquatic experience in New Jersey, that's just a couple things, right? Let's see. Swift Aquarium says, not to stalk you, Joel, but I'm supposed to be in Brooklyn, Michigan from May 7th to 12th. That's close. That's close enough, I think, Mr. Swift. Let's see. What? I guess it would be annoying if I every time I closed my calendar, it would just go back. Okay. I was about to get mad that the calendar like closed and went back to today, but it actually makes sense, right? Yeah, so the 7th is like that's right on the end of it. So I don't know. May. Bassmasters is wondering, is it April or May? It's going to be May 4th, 5th, and 6th. So the 5th month. So we're about a month away before we hit the road, right? So let's see. Yeah, we're basically like, we're almost like literally a month away from when we hit the road to go do that. So, well, there's the Schwisky Vision. I see the S Whiskey in there. He keeps changing his name. I wish he would just go Noodle Legs full time. Good to see Jimmy in the chat saying, I want to go to the American Live Bears Association. Well, he is going. Jimmy, you're going. I told you you're going. Well, actually, it's not even my place to say that you're going or not, but you are. And it's going to be me and Jimmy and Corey. We're going to be driving around, driving all the way across the country. So it's going to be pretty fun. I'm excited for it. Are you excited for it? But it's one of the main reasons for the Patreon. I mean, I just, the way I look at it, it's like, if I could ever, if there was ever a time where I could just go like, yeah, full disclosure, that's what the Patreon is to try and get to. It's just to try and really like open up the possibilities to try and do like Pimp My Tank or something. I don't know. I don't even know what that show would be called. Like the Aquascape Avengers. I don't know. It's not a good idea. It just was an idea that happened. Oh no. You guys. We've got a super chat here on our hands. We've got a super chat. Who's it from? Oh, it's from Creedmoor Aquatics. It's a $20 super chat, so it's bright orange. Well, let's get on this because I haven't even got to the first Patreon question yet, but there's Rumbust watching the show. I love that. Let's answer this super chat real quick and figure out, or maybe it'll take forever. Who knows? From Creedmoor Aquatics asking, hey, Joel, can you give any tips, tricks, or alternate YouTube channels to learn more about breeding a boatload of rummy-nosed tetra? My whole house runs on rainwater, which is, of course, going to be slightly acidic for sure. TDS of 9, and I'd love to have a 180 gallon with 300 plus tetra. Oh, okay. I'm sure this is a response to my most recent fish dump video, which was a couple hundred rummy-nosed tetras going into my 240, which I have to admit, I was looking at my 240 today, and it's kind of making me happy. I'm kind of digging it. So tips and tricks. Let's run through a couple of tips and tricks for breeding some rummy-nosed tetra. Okay, so the first thing with rummy-nosed tetra is you're going to have to get a bunch of them. Like, whoops, did I open? There we go. Okay, so we got the Wikipedia open here, but it's off-centered. Whatever. But, so if we just do the Google search here real quick, just to show you guys kind of like what pops up when you do the Google search, right? So you're looking for these guys right here. South American is what they're going to pop up as, because that's what they are. But the fish that you're looking for, right, is, of course, what happened here? My brain just went off the track, sorry. But, hold on, I accidentally closed the chat. There we go. So, when you find those, you're going to find the water parameters, which you're already pretty darn close to the water parameters that you're looking for. You're going to want slightly acidic for the rummy-nosed tetra. That's what you're going to look for. Now, the way that I easily replicate that in my 240 is that I have a big giant sump down there. So I have a big giant sump down there, and it makes it super easy for me to add things like catappa leaves. And I actually had to go, that was actually when I was picking up the seeds yesterday from the co-op from Denise. I was actually picking up, I was grabbing some catappa leaves or almond leaves, whatever you want to call them. When I was down there, that was one of the things that I had to pick up while I was there. But when you want to breed rummy-nosed tetra, they are very difficult to sex. I'm going to be brutally honest with you. It's really difficult to figure out who's a male, who's a female. And so the easiest thing to do would be to get a lot of them, because you're most decidedly going to have some males and females in there. The big differentiation between the males and females is I think it's almost 100% just body shape, if I recall correctly, although I might be 100% wrong saying that. People are asking if it's hey Hemigrammus blairi or not. I think there's 3 different kind of fish technically that are considered rummy nose tetra. One's the Hemigrammus or something like that. Hemigrammus. I don't know. I'm probably saying that 100% wrong. And then there's one that starts with a P, which I can't remember. But blairi is normally the one that you see the most. You see those ones pretty often. The big differentiation, as where is it? Grumble was saying there, is that their coloring of the red just kind of goes back further. So not that big of a deal. But you definitely don't really want to be, what is it? The patel, I don't know. It starts with a P. The P one is the harder one. The one that starts with the letter P, not the P one. How weird is that? The one that starts with the letter P is supposed to not, I can't remember what. I don't know. Hold on. Let me see if I can't. Where did that article go? Where did my Googling go? All right, there's my Googling. Let me see. Here we go. So I'm on meetthepet.com. Let's see. Where? Oh, okay, here it is. So the Patelia georgiae is sometimes confused with it. That's the harder water one, which would want to be in harder water, but I wouldn't worry about, if that's the fish you got, obviously you're going to have to set up different water parameters for them, but that's what you're looking for. But the biggest tip that I can give you is that if you're maintaining a tank with a lot of them, you're going to keep the acidity down, and you want to really go crazy with tannins, right? Which, the catappa leaves, almond leaves, whatever you want to call them, they're going to, that's really going to assist in their breeding behavior. If you can keep the tannins up and your pH down a little bit, and your temperature range, your temperature range in the right area, then you're pretty much going to be, you're pretty much going to be just like right exactly where you want to be. I'm trying to remember. Hold on. What did I do? I hit a button down here and it got weird. Whoa. Whoops, I hit F1 and it freaked out. Whoa, what's going on here? Oh, my screen's all crazy. Oh, there we go. Oh, I lost control of the screen. Sorry, guys. I accidentally hit a button down here, and it freaked out my thing. So I'm planning on breeding my rummy nose tetra. So let me explain what is going on here, because I keep getting totally distracted. So as long as I keep my temperature between 74 and 78, I'm going to be pretty much right on point with temperature. Now, feeding is actually pretty easy with the rummy nose, because they'll pretty much hammer down on food if they're in a full school, because so for instance, I've got probably like 225, 230. I have had a couple of them got caught in some filter floss that I had in the wrong spot, unfortunately. So about 10 of them got stuck in there, which sucked. But there's so many fish in there. I've definitely got males and females. And then feeding. Now, here's the thing. When you have a big school of fish, it actually makes it way easier to feed easier food, like flake food, Repashy type food, that kind of stuff. Because if one fish gets triggered to feed, it sort of cascades down the line, right? Because so let's say you have a bunch of picky eaters and they're like, no, all I want is live food or whatever because I'm fish. It actually makes it a lot easier when you have a large school because it triggers one of the other ones to start eating if one of them eats, right? So it's like, oh, hey, what's that guy eating? Oh, hey, what's she eating? Hey, what's going on here? Oh, we're supposed to be eating. Oh, no. So it actually does make it a lot easier to handle with the feeding and stuff like that for me to breed them because having the large school like that actually makes it really easy to feed flake food or pretty simple pellets and stuff like that. I feed mostly NLS, the new Life Spectrum flake food, and the Thera A pellet. It's like the little tiny micro pellet. It's the little tiny guy. It sinks, which is super helpful for my tanks because I wouldn't say that they're like heavy flow or high flow or anything like that, but there is a lot of water moving around there. So with sinking pellets, it's a huge help for me to get stuff down to the bottom of the tank, like where my pistos are, where my bristlenose plecos are, and stuff like that. Yeah, feeding is not really that big of a deal, but if I can keep the tannins up, keep the temperature correct, and do, just kind of standard water changes and stuff like that, and then if you have a sump like I do, it actually makes it pretty easy with egg scatterers like that because a lot of the eggs are going to be kind of scattered about and head over the overflow, and they'll actually get caught in the filter floss down there, and then I can just take the filter floss and float that in a small tank if I want, or I can even just float it in the sump and let them hatch out down there in the sump. And so, is it the easiest way to do it? Probably not, but it is the way I'm doing it because it's the way that I enjoy it. You know what I mean? All right, so we're gonna roll on to the Patreon questions here a little bit. We got well, this isn't really a question, just kind of a positive post from James Collins saying, new to Patreon, and saying, new to this, just want to help support Joel's channel. Ah, right on. Thanks, man. I very much appreciate it, James. Thanks for kicking in and chipping in and being a part of the little Patreon posse. Posse up, right? I wonder how many people from the Patreon have shirts, man. How many of you all got shirts? I don't know. James Collins. Oh, here's an example of a little picture of his tank. Saying my tank, rainbows, rummy nose tetras, penguin tetras, and a whole lot of bristlenose plecos. That is a sweet looking tank. Olympia Shrimps commenting in, saying it looks super pretty. I have to agree. That is a very nice looking planted tank. Elisa Bentley chiming in, just testing how to post a photo, trying to figure out how to do it. So yeah, sometimes these new apps take a couple minutes to figure out how everything works. And Alyssa was testing it out, and boom, there you go. Managed to figure it out. Managed to figure it out and get it to work just a couple minutes later. Actually, it was like 3 hours later, but still. Got it figured out, which is awesome, and posted a picture of the hail the size of after dinner mints all over the lawn. Look at that hail. That's crazy hail. It knocked over your garbage can. It's buck wild. And great to see that crazy weather because it was hailing all over here last weekend. It was going a little bit crazy, going a little sideways. Dennis Ballard. Always chipping in, always being a part of our little corner of the internet here. Saying he loves his tangs, Tanganyika shell dwellers. He's got a little shell dweller tank. I'm digging it. Realistically, I want to do a shell dweller tank one of these days. I want to do a shell dweller tank one of these days again. It's been a long time, and I think I want to get back into doing one, but I got to figure out some space, and we'll actually be talking about that once we get to the video portion of the show. Just got to click the little heart button here on Dennis. One of the coolest little fish, fun to watch. Great dither from my oldest apistos. Oh, look at these little guys. It's hard for me to tell what is going on. I mean, they look like autosynclists swimming around, but I don't think that they're autosynclists. I can't figure out exactly what they are from the picture. But they look like autos swimming. I don't want to sound like a weirdo if I got that totally wrong. It's not that many people here. It's Friday. Everybody's out napping, doing something. I don't know. But Dennis Ballard, again, this old apistogramma. I love apistos. I have to agree with you. We'll actually talk about mine here in just a minute. Dennis with another picture of his beautiful apisto. Oh, that's one of his sons. So that's the father, and that's the son. Where's the Holy Ghost? Olympia Shrimps is saying local fish store wanted $20 a piece for unsexed juveniles. I unfortunately don't have the space or money to grow out a group of them to find a pair. Someday they will be mine. I think I know somebody who might be able to hook up some apistogrammas. Olympia Shrimps, let me know. Olympia Shrimp Shrimpery may be coming through. Uh-oh, we've got a super chat over here from Sam Shermer, a $2 super chat, asking thoughts on refugiums within a freshwater sump. I like a refugium in my sumps. I love having them there for my freshwater stuff. I love having a refugium down there. I'm actually going to start building some aquaponics trays, which have been on the back burner like forever. And I actually got the acrylic in yesterday. I think yesterday. No, that wasn't yesterday. We did a different thing yesterday. Maybe I got the acrylic on Wednesday, but I got the acrylic for building some tray inserts for my sump so that I can start doing some emergent grown plants down in my sump, which is kind of a weird project that's just been going on for what feels like forever, but hopefully will be coming to fruition very, very soon, and I'll be posting a video on how you guys can do that. I think it's a great way to help add some root. First of all, it'll add to your root uptake, you know, from down there, to help keep your water extra clean and stuff like that. But on top of it, it also is a great way to propagate plants. And maybe you want to sell some of your plants off. Maybe you want to trade some for somebody, you know, something along those lines. But you want to like kind of up how quickly you could grow stuff like that, and grow them like, you know, without algae or any snails or stuff like that. There's a lot of upside to doing some aquaponics trays down in the sump, and I'm definitely for it. I'm definitely for it. And currently, I keep a lot of my submerged plants in basically chamber 2. Yeah, chamber 2 or 3 in my freshwater sumps, and that helps me you know, keep all of my, you know, plant trimmings and stuff like that down there. Jason Colbarox says, nice at Candy, really subtle. So, Candy saying the affiliate link to order from the co-op help Joel beat Mike from Aquapros. Yes, it was always my goal to beat Shakespeare. It is a gentleman's wager, though, where we just generally give just give him a hard time. Jan and Keller, or Jand and Keller. Okay. Saying Mike been busy, haven't seen a lot of vids coming out lately. He's got a bunch. Actually, Aquapros has a bunch of videos out. He did some kind of planted jar from Michael's yesterday, I think, is what he posted, which I'm admittedly going to give him a pretty hard time about that one. He's calling it an ecosphere, and I don't know. I think they've invented that. I think he invented a word, although I didn't look it up to see if somebody else had invented it, but kind of funny. But yes, he's got some new videos out. I definitely recommend checking out the Aqua Pros, Mr. Shakespeare, the pros, right? Daniel Squires with an awesome post of something going on in his tank. It looks like he's got narite snails, narite snail eggs on these on this driftwood he's got going here, and just a sneaky fish in the background. I can't tell if this looks like Anubias of some varietal, but it's kind of out of focus. I can't really tell what it is, but I don't know. Everything in there looks all green and healthy. This looks like a little barteri or something like that down here in the corner. I'm not sure, Dan. Olympia shrimps. Oh, being in the giving mood. Anyone in the Olympia, Washington area want some free plant trimmings? No shipping. Just meet at Vic's to pick up. Look at that. Part of our community is growing, and people rocking out some, hey, you need some free plants? Are you in Olympia? Are you near Olympia, Washington? Are you in the southern Washington area? Are you in Portland? Are you in whatever? Are you looking for free plant trimmings? You can meet up with Olympia Shrimps McShrimpery. Check out down there. Vince Grippa with a sad, sad day in the vegetable world. A lone piece of zucchini wandered into a pack of vicious cherry shrimp. Sadly, the zucchini didn't make it. Yeah, well, it's a sad day in the vegetable world, my guy. We've over-dramatized whether or not zucchini even knows what's going on, but I love zucchini probably as much as these shrimp do. I try to eat as much zucchini as I can. I mean, between broccoli, asparagus, and zucchini, I just pretty much can't get enough of it. So, mad respect to them shrimps, you know what I'm saying? So, I dig it, but what a cool picture, you know what I mean? Like, it was a great shot. It's all about timing on that one, too. Vexing Cat dropping in to say what's worth watching on Curiosity Stream. Curiosity Stream is a very nice selection of documentaries ranging from geology, nature, history, and much more. I found the quality good and the selection good. Just wish they had even more content. If you are nerdy enough to know who Mikio Cow, Neil deGrasse Tyson, and David Attenborough are, you might like the content of this service. It costs me about $5.99 a month. I believe they also offer a free trial service. This is not YouTube. This is a service along the lines of Netflix, only it's geared towards the sciences, which this, by the way, is very interesting to me. And I do have to say, Mikio Cow, that guy does a lot of stuff in my area. He does a lot of stuff in my area. And he does a lot of stuff with like the UW, which so he's been around a lot. Definitely seen him. Very nice guy, very nice dude. Here we go with Kyle Paith posting up. He's got some, in addition to the browns, the colony is now starting to throw some reds. I don't know if they're coming from the oranges or the carbons or the mixture, but I'm loving this little experiment. I love it, Kyle. That's really one of those things, man. You get into shrimp breeding, you start finding all sorts of crazy stuff. You start going through all sorts of crazy breeding stuff with shrimp. They start throwing weird colors. There's culls. There's all sorts of situations that you got to deal with. And here's a perfect example. You got basically a red cherry, a really, and an orange, you know, or a tangerine, or whatever you want to call it. All pretty much just, you know, intermingling and probably throwing all sorts of weird shrimp. And that's something that you definitely have to deal with as a shrimp breeder. But it is a very rewarding hobby to really get into, shrimp breeding. And I love it. And I just can't wait to expand my system. But we're going to get there. We're going to get there, you guys. Kyle Paith with another great picture. Here. Been kind of ignoring this tank and letting the shrimps do their thing without me meddling too much. It's got a little Malaysian trumpet snail in there too, which is awesome. Pamela Early Wine with an awesome post here. I love this. This is a great photo right here. The drape fin barb fry. There we go. I moved the adults out of this 10-gallon into a new 29-gallon tank. Came home tonight to see these schools of quarter-inch fry emerging from the dwarf sage in a 10-gallon. At least a dozen, but I think a lot more. This is great. This is great news. That's awesome to see when you pull the angry adults out there. The what do you call them? Adolescents come out to play. You know, the teenagers. Donnie Hill, we got a bunch of posts here from Donnie Hill. He's been working on this 220-gallon aquarium for quite a bit now, and I have to say he's looking closer and closer to getting this thing set up, because he's starting to get things in like this pump right here. Yes, he was asked, his question was, is this the pump that I recommended? Yes, this is one of the pumps that I recommend for the price. If you have a ton of money, yes, you can buy fancier pumps. But these, the DCP series, like Jabao makes them, a bunch of other companies basically buy these. Basically, there's a big manufacturer overseas that makes these, and then they put them into different boxes, you know, so there's like just basically different retailers. But they're all the same pumps. They work pretty well. They push a lot. They push a lot of water, work pretty well, use not very much wattage, considering this thing, the 8,000, I think, 8,000 liters an hour. For only 65 watts of power is not that much. That is very low, and they're pretty nice. I like using them, pretty sure. I like using them, and they just aren't that expensive. They're actually pretty affordable. It's one of those things. These are one of those pumps that you could generally like order 4 of them for the cost of like an Ecotech, and then you'd have 3 spare ones. So you'd pretty much have enough pumps for the rest of your life. So that's kind of the way that I look at it, is like, wow, you know, I can get a lot more for my money. And that's just really what it boils down to more often than not. Pamela Earlywine saying, I see people say that they had a air quote tank crash once in a while. What is a tank crash and what causes it? I have had aquariums off and on for over 40 years, and I don't think I've ever witnessed a tank crashing. Is it a sudden drop in pH or an ammonia spike, or is it just any problem that can cause total loss of everything in your ecosystem? Well, the last sentence that you said there is pretty much encompasses it. So, yes, it could be any of these crazy things, but it's more often than not, yes, a massive ammonia spike, or it's followed by a crazy crash in the pH, or it starts out with a crazy crash in the pH and then turns into a crazy ammonia spike. Oftentimes people lose their cycle completely, and it's a little bit weird. More often than not, you know, these crazy, like a tank crash, like when you hear just these kind of horror stories going on, almost every time, especially, you know, dealing with, you know, with the store that I worked at for a while, almost every single person that would come in would, you know, we'd kind of backtrack like what they were doing, and it more often than not comes down to like they weren't doing any maintenance, they weren't doing any water changes, they weren't testing water, they didn't know what was going on. Oftentimes I hear of tank crashes from people not quarantining new fish, you know, and it's like, I don't know, all my fish just died. And it's like, well, they all got scarlet and died, so they didn't just randomly die. You infected them with new fish that were sick, and then all the other sick fish got sick, and then they all died. So, you know, from my personal experience, we had at one point in time, we had this little tiny nano tank. I think it was like 3.5 gallons, I think. And it had a flourishing crystal shrimp colony in it for quite a while. And everything was just rocking and rolling in there and doing super well. But one day, the evaporation in it just hit the point where none of the shrimp could handle it anymore. They just could not handle the water quality anymore, and that whole shrimp colony in that tank all died, which is super crummy, you know, because they were all just dead. It wasn't a tank that I was supposed to be taking care of, and I was sort of at a point where What's the word? Yeah, so it wasn't my tank, and I wasn't supposed to be taking care of it. And I feel like if I had taken care of it, it would have just allowed the person to continue to not take care of it. And so I was just kind of like, yeah, whatever, that thing's doing its thing. It's not my problem. And then, boom, one day, all the crystal shrimp in it, all dead. So, you know, real kind of tragic situation, but my colony in a different tank was fine. So, you know, I've seen it happen. I've never really had it happen to me, but I've certainly seen it happen, and I've seen it happen to other people so much that I'm always just kind of, what's the word I'm thinking? I'm always just kind of paranoid that something like that could happen to me if I'm really not just not paying attention to my tanks at all. So that's that. Hopefully that answers kind of the questioning there. Let's get to the chat here a little bit and catch up with you guys. Let's see here. Michael Davis says, "What's up, Joel? Asked about cherry barbs or Denison barbs a couple of days ago. Decided to go with dwarf neon rainbows instead of super hype. Cool. If people have commented on YouTube or something like that, you know, I try to get back to YouTube. I try to answer comments and stuff on YouTube, but oftentimes I can't get to them. It's not to say that it's a low priority, but it's kind of at the bottom of my to-do list. I try to do it. Some days I have time to do it, but most days I don't. So if anybody feels like they posted a comment somewhere and I didn't get back to them, I mean, hopefully that's a reasonable, it just explains why I haven't got back to people, but that's awesome to hear that you got the dwarf neon rainbows. That's awesome. So those should be great for you. That would be a ton of fun. Those are fun fish for sure. Let's see. Jackson Kobayarks is asking any progress for a podcast. Yes, this will be fairly very soon. Well, there will be a bunch of these episodes up as a podcast. Finally figured out who's going to host the site, how that's going to go. I ran into a bunch of issues with the people that were going to host the site. They basically wanted to charge these exorbitant fees, and we wouldn't have been able to post a bunch of the stuff that we wanted to anyhow. So I ended up working it out with a company that's going to host it, and it looks like everything's good to go. So it's going to be very, very soon. This stuff's going to be posted as a podcast, and we shall see if anybody enjoys it or not. I don't know. We'll find out. Bentley Pascal says, I feel like being busy with no time to make videos. I woke up early today to give myself some editing time. Still have to do some more and render. Yep. That's the name of the game. You want to start doing YouTube, you're going to start losing sleep. That's for sure. Jeffrey Rosenfarb says, I bought 5 Amano shrimps last Sunday. By Thursday, they were all dead, and what looks like a bacterial infection killed all of my ember tetras in the same tank. Parameters were perfect. Can shrimp pass bacterial infection? Everything could pass a bacterial infection. Bacteria can exist on any surface. It can exist on anything. And can for sure exist on living shrimp. That's for sure. They're wet and they're the right temperature. Bacteria will be there. That's why everything needs to be quarantined before you bring it in. Plants, it's super easy to bring plants in because you can just dip them in just extreme Melifix and Pimafix and can pretty much just zap anything off of it. Aquarium Coop says pencil fish. Zwellers says pencil fish. Oh, those were pencil fish. Those weren't. They look like Autosynclus on my in my picture here, but I am half dead today, so I might be dying. But let's scroll back there. Hold on. Let's see. We're scrolling back, guys. We're scrolling down. Yep, those do look like pencil fish now. See the tail? See the head? It's different. Yeah, well, good catch, you guys. All right. Well, good job. Thanks for catching me for screwing that up. No, those aren't autos. All right. They look like autos in mid-swim. Let's see here. Okay, so I think I'm caught up on the chat now. Yes. Okay. Savannah Aqua Llama says, coincidentally, Joel recently posted on how to on quarantines. Yes. Yeah, you got to quarantine everything. If you're everything that's coming into your fish room, you've got to quarantine, and it's a big matter of like you're putting everything that you've worked into danger. I mean, you're just putting everything that you've built up, and maybe you only have one aquarium, but maybe you just have one 20-gallon aquarium, and you've been working on it for a long time, and then you just bring home a bunch of fish from the store, throw them in there, and that one aquarium that you have just turns into a disaster. I mean, there's nothing more stressful than just losing all of your work. You know what I mean? Just a little bit of of work ahead of time will completely avoid that from happening by making sure that fish or shrimp or whatever you're going to bring in are quarantined properly. You can observe them and treat them for whatever, and you're not going to end up having to treat the whole giant system. So it's very important. A&A Life says, what's your favorite type of betta? My favorite type of betta would be probably chinoides are probably my favorite, I guess. I don't know why I always have to play the favorite game, but people love those questions, you guys. What's your favorite this? What's your favorite that? I would say with bettas, it's probably chinoides would be my favorite, I guess, if I had to pick one. But there'll probably be a day that I have a bunch of kinds again. I see the Fish Nerd in the chat. What up? What's up, Fish Nerd? Posted a great Instagram post today. He's challenging people to the lemons for leukemia. And if you guys don't know, our #1 fan here is Caleb Overhauls. There is a GoFundMe posted for Caleb Overhauls. We've been hammering away the last couple months on the leukemia GoFundMe for Caleb Overhauls. I'm happy to say it's definitely going onward and upward. That doesn't mean that we're done yet, because we certainly aren't. And I'll tell you this much, till we hit that goal, I'm just going to keep bothering everybody. I'm going to keep bothering everybody, talking about it all the time. And if you feel like it's an inconvenience, just imagine what the inconvenience that the Overhauls family is going through. They've been fighting this battle for years now, 2 years now. Caleb's our 7-year-old #1 fan from Montana, right? And Fishing Nerd, or the Fish Nerd, says got a full video of that challenge on the channel. I was saying, I saw your Instagram post and I thought it was great. He smashed a lemon with a cinder block. Perfect. That's great. I'm loving it. But Caleb's our guy. Caleb's who we're working on to try and help out here, trying to help out the family, do the little things that we can. It's one of those things. $5, $10. We've had some super generous people, that have been able to kick in, and it's awesome. And it's unbelievable to see it. And you know what? If you're somebody that can't do that, I understand, but here's something that you can do. At the very least, you could go over to the GoFundMe, you could copy it, you could run over to Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or whatever and share it out there. You can share it out there, and maybe somebody like Jeff Bezos or somebody like that will see it and just fully fund the thing. Who knows? But if you get the word out, help out a little bit. It's only going to take a minute. It's not that big of a deal to help out in that way. We can definitely keep rocking and rolling, and we really want to do the best we can to help out that family. And as Lord knows, Miss Candy definitely, and Caleb help me out a lot, just being here moderating and doing the things that and just helping out, and generally just being awesome also. Oh my gosh, somebody used the affiliate link. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna beat Mike. I'm gonna beat Aqua Pros, you guys. I'm gonna beat Shakespeare. I'm gonna beat him. Why are you eating? Why am I eating toothpicks? Because I like wood. Because I like chewing on sticks of wood. All right, we've got a... Moving back on to our Patreon post here, we got a post from GetFace saying an update on the filter problems from last week. Not had any reply back from Tetra. Not even a sorry, we can't help you. Disappointed to say the least. Goes on to talk about what's going on with replacing the dead filter. So the specs of these two filters right here. He's got someone selling a new Jabot 204 canister filter for 25 pounds. I already have a Jabo 502 on my 96 liter tank, and I'm happy with it, so went and got it. The plan is to put the 204 on the 96 liter and move the 502 to the 54 liter beta tank to replace the dead filter. Okay, so we've got the 502 at 650, the 204. So the spec numbers here are a little bit confusing because the 204 is more powerful, and that's a little bit confusing, but it'll be all right. Says, I want to maintain the turnover but lower the flow practically on the 54 beta tank. Don't want them being blown around the tank. I'm using the spray bar on both filters and considering making the holes bigger to help lower the flow. Yes, this is exactly what you want to do. The bigger the outlets for that water, right? Why did Mateo tell me to be careful? What did I do? Oh, because I got a toothpick in my mouth. Got it. My mom says that too. Be careful, you're going to swallow it. Okay. But, yes, this is exactly what you want to do with this filter if you want to lower the force of the water, right? Is you should basically want to open up the outlet and allow it to go, allow it to just slow down the flow. It's not going to speed up. So if you think of it this way, when you have a garden hose outside, think of you turn on the garden hose, right? And it's just coming out. You go over there, you stick your thumb on it, right? It goes shooting all crazy. You get higher pressure. That would potentially move your water around. So think about what you're doing with your spray bar there is taking your thumb off of the hose by making the holes bigger, and then it's going to allow the water to flow through, to flow out of there a little gentler, even though it's the same amount of water coming along. So this is exactly what you'd want to do. This is a great question right here. I think at some point I'm going to definitely have to make a video about lowering the flow but maintaining the turnover. This is so awesome. It's a fantastic one. And look at that. It's probably going to make a video at some point in time that people might want to watch. Or not. Who knows? Alyssa Bentley is... so we got the picture here, and I got to scroll down to answer the question. But the main question here is this that rhizome rot that Anubias sometimes get and I don't recover from? Okay, so in my experience, so there's a lot of information here. I'm not going to read through it on the show, but this is one of the big things that I love about the Patreon is that you guys are able to post not only a picture, right, but then all this awesome information down here about what's going on with the tank, what's happening. Here's the water parameters. Here's some things that I've changed. This and quite a bit. Now, this doesn't necessarily look like rhizome rot to me because of how clear it is. Rhizome rot, in my experience, has come in the form of this dark brown chaos, and then it melts and falls apart and that kind of stuff. So I've never seen it be that clear. Now, I'm really wondering if you may or may not have just some kind of deficiency, or maybe just this plant is just kind of done because of how just kind of white and clear it is. Although I wouldn't say it's not rhizome rot like 100%, because it very well could be, because I don't know how it's been progressing, like how it started out looking. Realistically, if I see those giant brown spots and they start melting away, out of paranoia, I'll just get it out of the tank just to see what's going on with it. And it's pretty rare that I would just be like, no, I'm just going to keep fighting my way through this. I would most likely trim it all off and then just stick the rhizome. If there is anything left that's like not infected, I would stick the rhizome like back in my sump and just hold on and let it resprout and grow back down there. All right. We have a great post here from Donnie Hill that has been an ongoing stand build, and I have to say, this stand is looking great. I would be happy to work with Donnie at any point in time because this is just legit. Like, this is just how you do this. You know, Corey and I were building some stuff yesterday, and we were trying to do it like how anybody at home could do it with like minimal effort, really, or not effort. Effort's not the right word. With minimal tooling and stuff like that. So we were trying to, we were building some stuff, which was a lot of fun. And it looks like Donnie's making way more headway with the right tools versus what we were doing yesterday. But progress is, we forced the progress to go to go through and managed to get it. Terry's Tropical Tank says, I don't know, but flow is flow regardless of pressure, and you can't maintain the same turnover and reduce flow. You can redirect it and lower the pressure, but that's it. Okay, well, that's a statement. But yeah, you can actually... well, maybe I didn't describe it well enough. But either way, I'll make a video about it later. We've got a 555 super chat from Chicken Lips 2. It's not an affiliate link. It's the Corvus Alaskan portal to the bowels of the aquarium coop supply chain. Chicken Lips almost always makes me laugh about something. And I greatly appreciate that. Sorry, I was looking over at Mr. Chips. He was doing this weird sleeping position on the ground, and I was worried for a second. Then he looked up at me, so he's fine. We've got a $7.77 super chat from Lisa Jobs here. Crazy Maze. Thank you very much, Lisa. That's awesome. Rory's here. Hello, hello. Made another live stream. How is everybody? Starting a quarantine tank tomorrow. What? There we go. Sorry, I almost screwed up the chat. Took your advice, Joel. Thanks a lot, man. You're very welcome. You are very welcome. Everybody, you should definitely have a quarantine tank. It's super easy to have a quarantine tank just sitting somewhere, just a little cheapo thermometer, cheapo old used filter, just sterilize the stuff. I did get a lot of questions this week in regards to people wanting to do planted quarantines. They want to have plants in their quarantine tanks and stuff like that. It is defeatist. I hope that I conveyed well enough in that video that setting up your quarantine tank and like putting plants in it and stuff like that, that's the gateway to ending up with a escaped tank. You're gonna just end up with a escape tank, and now it's not a quarantine anymore. But what I hope I conveyed it well enough in the video that your quarantine tank, you want to be able to take apart, you want to be able to sterilize all the equipment and have it ready to go for the next time you're going to use it. You don't want to keep it set up. You don't want to hold a bunch of plants in it. You don't want to do that stuff. You definitely want to just take it apart, sterilize it, and put it all back. Denise Lytle just popped up in the chat. Yes, the seeds are here. The jam is here. The preserves. They are here. And I realize I've been yammering on about the Patreon here for quite a while, and we got to get to the video portion of the show. If anybody noticed from the title, it's a salty road trip. Well, myself, Jimmy Noodle Legs, a.k.a. Shweemy Whiskey, he's there. That's Kobe from the Aquarium Coop. chicken coop filled with aquariums. That's Robert in the middle, and that's Julian, the owner of Crystal Reef Aquatics. We actually made our way all the way up to Bellingham, Washington, which is a surprisingly long drive. You know what I'm saying? So we made our way up there. This video will play through a couple of times, so don't be super stressed out, you guys, if you missed a part, because it will replay, and we'll be talking about it for pretty much the extent of the show here. So I didn't realize that it's 4:30 already, but so we made our way all the way up there to go check out some of the manufacturing and some of the products that they got up here. And I have to tell you, if you guys are looking for an #1 top of the line aquarium sump, these are your guys. Crystal Reef Aquatics. It's fantastic sumps. These are some beautifully assembled. Their stealth line are fantastically amazing looking and operating sumps for sure. Part of what we were up there was to talk about putting together some freshwater versions. And I think at some point they definitely are. But I will tell you this. Those guys are super duper 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 busy. You know what I'm saying? So no stress on those guys. But their timeline might be just a ways out from what the... Vicky's back there throwing stuff around and freaked me out. I don't know what that was. I think she just threw a case of bananas into the basement or something. I don't know what that was. That was wild. Open the bedroom door. You're crazy. Whoa. Freaked me out, man. Sounded like a herd of buffalo crashed into the side of the building, and I almost died. All right. So these guys, they do fantastic work. This is a little bit behind the scenes. There's Robert. That is... that's the main man down there at the aquarium coop, man. If you need to talk to the manager, that's the manager. But this is a little bit behind the scenes of their production where they build some beautiful, they build these beautiful glass displays. They do a lot of reef tank salt stuff. This tank that Julian there is leaning on is actually it's a prototype of something that they're working on. So it's obviously not finished. It's not 100%. We got to sneak in and take a look at it like in process, you know what I mean? So they do have a lot of beautiful products. You guys are gonna have to contact them and go check them out if you like, if that's something that you want to do. But realistically, for Corey and I, we had the conversation. We were just like, man, we don't have a timeline to wait for this kind of stuff because we're crazy. We're crazy. We don't have time to wait. You know what I'm saying? We can't just wait. So we started messing around yesterday a little bit, and we got some plans in the works. But the main thing here would be that I've got the wheels a grinding in my mind here. I've got my wheels a grinding in my mind here that I got to build some stuff. I got to build some stuff. I got to think about making some changes. Now, and this is going to be sad for a lot of people, but I'm thinking that the reef tank may have to go. Now, before anybody freaks out, flips a table over and does all that, I know that most people here in the chat would understand that my reef tank is my hobby tank, and I love it. You know, I love reefs. I love salt water. I love all this stuff, but I do realize that the reef tank does start hitting the back burner in regards to the things that I really, 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 really want to do. You know what I mean? It's like maybe I really, really, really want to do the reef, but not 5 reallys, right? And so I'm making a consideration in my mind. I'm kind of weighing the checks and balances of what exactly I want to do with that portion of the fish room. And I think I've got a good idea. Now, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, you know, but I think I've got a great idea for what's going to go in that portion of the fish room. And, you know, like I said, I don't want anybody to get like super pissed or anything like that I'm getting rid of the reef. I'm certainly not going to like never do salt water again or anything like that, but I'm just considering it. It's something that's in my head, or that maybe I want to downsize the reef to a smaller size so that it's easier to you know, be a single unit that I can manage. But I haven't completely made up my mind. It's just something I'm kind of kicking around, and it's something to it's something to think about right now. So if anybody's got anything that they want to let me know, maybe some inspiration or something like that, because you know, I just did spend time up at Crystal Reef, and we also, you guys are going to get to check out some video from their store starting right here. This is their 440-gallon display that is right out in the front. It's basically the first thing that you get to see in the store up there, and a beautiful tank, beautiful display, and I do definitely. I love reef tanks. I will just stare at coral for long periods of time and stuff like that. But I'm just wondering if it's in my best interest to just keep messing with this reef or not. But like I said, I haven't made up my mind yet, and gonna have to keep thinking, doing some brain thinkings about what I'm gonna do here, because I think I could definitely do some other projects that may or may not be better, like long term, but I'm just thinking about it. Well, we have a super chat here from Jeff Rose Fish Keeping. What's up, Jeff Rose? Good to see you. Says, what up, Joel? What up, Fish Fam? Ready for the weekend, full of holy water changes and fun fish and shrimp stuff. Thank you, Jeff Rose, for the super chat. That's not really a question, but that sounds like you're getting some wild water changes this weekend, crazy fun fish stuff and shrimp and everything. That's going to be, sounds like a fun weekend. And thanks for chipping in the $10, man. I appreciate it. Zach Taylor saying the new fad nano reef tanks. Yeah, I've got my 180-gallon reef tank, and, you know, I don't think it's getting the time of day that it really deserves right now. And I don't know. I've either got to make a decision to like hammer down on it and make it into a more automated system and like upgrade the lights and do some other things, or you know, just consider downgrading it into something that is more of an autonomous system. I think is really what I'm considering, you know. And so I don't know. I find myself at a point where I'm like, I don't know. And I rub my beard. And so, you know, I think it's a good opportunity for maybe the Fish Fam to chime in and go, try this, maybe try that. I don't know. If you guys got some great ideas, I think I've got some great ideas of what I want to do for that space. But I don't know. I might be completely wrong. So I'd like to hear from you guys and see what you guys think. And yeah, just kind of go from there. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Creedmoor Aquatics says we need to find Corvus a warehouse for his fish room. Then he can put a sump in it. Someday I might, you know, that's like a someday I might end up with some kind of warehouse space or something like that. But we might get, you know, probably get there at some point in time. You know what I mean? At some point in time, I'll probably get to having some kind of warehouse space or whatever. But that's just so far in the future. It's just kind of like, I don't know. So it's hardly worth like, you know, thinking about right now. Because I might as well, if I'm going to think about big dreams like that, I like thinking about big dreams like being able to do some charity, doing more charity type stuff. You know what I mean? So I would hopefully be more into to dreaming about being able to do that stuff. Like that's probably more where my headspace is, or where I'd like to just be thinking about trying to get to at whatever point. So I'm probably just gonna keep going down, dreaming about that kind of stuff instead of you know, trying to find a warehouse space that I can't afford right now. But you know, when I have to admit, like when I was up here, I was definitely thinking about, okay, what's going on with my reef in comparison to reefs that are really well taken care of? Not that mine's like not taken care of. It's just that I'm not really putting in that extra effort, you know, to make it excellent. You know, it's just like sort of good. You know, it's definitely not excellent and that kind of stuff. But at some point, I am going to have to change out the lights, which is a considerable cost at this point to think about, you know. And I am going to have to get the lights. It is not a 911. It's like a 9-1 to get some new lights and stuff going pretty soon if I'm just going to keep the 180 going. And I think that's part of my consideration of what's going on is that, like, hey, if I can't do this, like, top notch, then maybe I should just do something else. So I don't know, but the light situation is going to be a big deal. And you know, while I was up here, I had a great opportunity to look at some AO lights, some Ecotech lights, some Radion lights, and realize, like, oh, you know what, that is one of my big deficiencies, is that my light situation is not that great. And it is a big contributing factor, just the same as if you had a planted aquarium with just a tiny light over it, right? And you're like, well, the plants can't photosynthesize, and neither can my corals and stuff very well. So it's not that it's non-existent. It's that all my soft corals and stuff are doing fairly well, where, you know, most people know that soft corals don't really demand that much light. So it just gives you an idea that if I do put any SPS as opposed to LPS down lower in my tank, it just starts to die off because it's just not getting enough light. And you know, the quality of lights that I have is very inferior. So if I move them higher up in the tank, then they're just getting blasted with way too much light. So I'm in this weird position where, you know, I have to make a serious upgrade and make that decision. And it's like, I start thinking about, like, wow, you know what, if it's going to be like $750 for new lights, I start to think about, oh, $750 could go towards a bunch of cool projects that I could help out, show the fish fam, like what could and couldn't be done. So that's the stuff that I start to take into consideration, is that, like, you guys, you know, I can make a bunch of videos about a bunch of stuff with that kind of project money, right? So other than, you know, if I just bought a light and did like an unboxing, like, hey, check out this light's awesome, it came from the store. You know, the UPS guy dropped it off in this brown box. So that's part of the consideration that I got going on. Whereas if I could take, you know, $750 worth of materials and make stuff and show you guys how to make stuff and things like that, that would be a lot better in my opinion. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just completely off base or something. But that's where my thought process is, and maybe I'm just I don't know. Maybe I'm just not getting enough sleep. I don't know. But we did have a ton of fun, and one of the things I'd like to point out is that, so when I do Real Fish Talk, like, this is the day that we did Real Fish Talk. So this was Tuesday when we went up to Bellingham and back. Basically got up at 5:30 in the morning, got everything, got all the morning stuff done here that I needed to do. Left here at like 9:30. Got up to Edmonds so that I could do the Real Fish Talk. We're basically there till like 5:30. And we drove up to Bellingham. We were up there until 11:30 at night. I got home to my house at 2 o'clock in the morning. And that's basically a simple explanation for my day. And, you know, not to say there's anything wrong with that. It's just a long day, a lot of stuff to do, very busy days. That's kind of what my days look like now, anyhow. But it definitely was inspiring some of the thought process of going like, like, what am I going to do when I'm gone for a week and no one's here to take care of my big old reef? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's not that Vicky can't do it. It's that she just doesn't. She like doesn't know how. She's like, what? I don't understand. What's all this craziness going on? You know. So it could be weird. You know. But I'm thinking I have what might be kind of a cool idea. Might be a huge waste of my time. I don't know. I'm just gonna kind of work through it and do some drawings over the weekend. I do have a couple hours tomorrow morning that I can actually sit down and kind of sketch out some of the ideas until somebody decides I have something else to do or whatever. So hopefully I can get that sketched out and then kind of at least come up with a game plan of whether or not it'd be worth it to try and change up that whole part of the fish room or not. Because I think one of the things that I'm not considering right now is how much time it will take to potentially do the project. So I think if I can break down like the man hours and stuff like that, I think that's what will really make up my mind of what I'm going to do or not do, and hopefully come up with something. But Crystal Reef Aquatics is a beautiful place. It was fantastic. I had a lot of fun with Kobe and Noodle Eggs and Robert. We had a great time going up there. Julian was a great host. As you can see, we're 100% after hours in his store in the darkness after the store was closed. Yeah, by the way, if you turn on the lights late night in a fish store, like the overhead lights, people will start to try to come in. It's very bizarre. It's like moths to a street light or something. But we had a great time. He was a great host. He's got some beautiful tanks and beautiful systems set up. Their sumps are top notch. I don't know how to order from them. But like I said, their timeline was so far out that it was kind of like, well, you know, if it's going to be 4 months from now before we could get some of like maybe these projects off the ground, like that is just so far in the future that it's like, that just wasn't going to work out that way. You know what I mean? It just wasn't going to work out because the timelines are so far apart. So, you know, that means that the ball's in my court to go ahead and start maybe making some projects. So that is going to be the plan from here on out. Kyle Paith with a $5 super chat saying, done with the water changes, decide to do some gravel vacuuming. Been a minute since the last one. If it really starts piling up, man, I know what you mean. You can definitely get behind on it, and then the next thing you know, you got a whole bunch of gravel vacuuming to do, and then it's going to be really important. Cool. Catch up with the chat. Wow, that video is like 20 minutes long, so never mind. Maybe it's not going to play again because we're coming up on the end of the show. And since we're coming up on the end of the show, it is Friday. You're not going to see me until tomorrow morning. There'll be a video coming out tomorrow morning, so hopefully your notifications are turned on and stuff like that, and you'll be able to check that one out. Looks like we've been having some pretty low turnouts for the live stream. I don't know if I got to hype it up or do something else, but yeah, there's only 100 people out here today. That's pretty low, so not sure if people are bored of the show or bored of listening to me talk. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. I don't know. But I guess we got about 5 minutes left in the show here, and as you guys heard, Vicky Toria is banging around in the background, and so I'm gonna go attend to my spouse and see how she's doing today. But big thanks to Crystal Reef Aquatics for having us up, because it was a lot of fun and definitely some top-notch systems. I had a lot of fun looking around at the stuff there. I definitely really had to evaluate some of the stuff, some of the projects that I'm doing, and it's one of those great things about going to to be able to go on a tour like this is that it definitely gives me some opportunity to just think about what I'm doing and where I want to go. John Kluker is here saying, on the earlier topic, the distinction between turbulence and flow is important. Yeah. Ed's Fish says, I know for me it's hard to catch the Friday show live. Oh, right on. Vexen Cat says it's spring. People are getting outside and doing spring yard work. Yep. Turtle Girl says, thanks for the stream, Joel. Super relaxing to just chill and listen. Right on. Let's see. Brian Jackson says, thanks, Joel. See y'all later. Probably everyone getting ready for the holiday. Yes, Vicky and I are getting ready for Easter Sunday. We're going to have a bunch of kids over, family over, a bunch of people. So should be a lot of fun. Savannah the Aqualama says, I'd not get bored. I look forward to the streams all weekend. Yeah, there will be some videos. There'll be a video out this weekend. There'll probably be a video from Aquarium Coop that has me in it somewhere. I don't know. So I definitely, if you're not posted up on the Aquarium Co-op, you should be posted up there. You probably see some of me doing something. See some of Kobe doing something. I don't know. He's always got videos coming out. He's all super organized, unlike me, man. I'm trying to get there. You guys. But there'll be a new one coming out this weekend. So that's for sure, because it's already uploaded and ready to go. I got that one done. And special thank you to Caleb and Candy for being patient on the chickening video. The chickening video got kind of pushed back because here's the problem. I didn't want to put out the chickening video as a two-part situation, and I'm not quite done with the fence out there. So I need to finish the fence so I can finish the video, because it's like 2/3 done, and it's like, I don't want to put it out if it doesn't make any sense. Like, here's part 1-ish or something. So, but the chickening video will be coming out soon. Big shout out to Caleb and Candy. Thank you for your patience. As you guys know, the producer credit was purchased by the Fishy Mailman on the Patreon and passed on to our man Caleb. That was his way of basically sponsoring Caleb, which is really cool, and the show here too. So, so great to thank you guys for your patience, and it's taken some days longer than I thought. I really thought that the fence and the gates, because I'm actually building the gates, I thought they were going to be done. So, and they're not, because we had other things that were more pressing. But I'm pretty excited. Hope everybody has a fantastic weekend out there. I'm going to head out and try to get the last hour of sun out here, and actually try to get some of that fence built. I want to get the brackets and stuff for the gate finished, and be ready to go up. Thank you for coming out this week, everybody. It was a fantastic week. I'm happy to be here, and I'll keep being here for as long as, I guess, like as long as you guys show up, I guess. I don't know. Thank you to all the super chatters, especially Alvin Alejo, Toast 707, The Zombie Drummer, BC Fishroom, Creedmoor Aquatics, Sam Shermer, Lisa Jobs, Chicken Lips 2, Jeff Rose Fish Keeping, Kyle Paith, and a big shout out to Eric and Iris Gone Mad. $155 super chat. That's big time, especially because you guys took such good care of me when I was in Chicago. On top of all of that, thank you very much, guys. Thank you, everybody, for the super chats and your contribution, and kicking in and coming here to chat, and the sharing and the blah, 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 and the subscribing. We are almost, and just here's, just as I'm on my way out the door here, we are rapidly approaching 12,000 subscribers, but I did notice our sharing is way down. So if there's a video of mine that you really like, I would much appreciate it if you guys go ahead and share it out there, and at least just tell the robots that Oh, people shared it. That's all the robots need to know. We can't let Skynet win, you guys. But thank you everybody for coming out. Hope it was a fun show. And I'm going to talk to you all later. Stay tuned next week. I'm going to be appearing on a bunch of channels other than this one.